800 pounds. Not the weight of a person, the weight of everything she never dealt with. The weight of grief she swallowed. The weight of love she lost. The weight of shame she buried. Under more food and more silence and more nights alone. This is not a story about obesity. This is a story about a woman who used the only thing she had to survive a pain that nobody around her could see. And this is the story of how she decided she wanted to live. Let's go intro the full video. The bed creaks every time she breathes. Not when she moves, not when she turns, just breathes. That is how far things have gone. Amara is 36 years old. She weighs 807 pounds. She has not left this room in 2 years. Every single morning begins exactly the same way. She opens her eyes, stares at the ceiling, the same water stain, the same crack in the plaster running from the light fixture to the corner of the room. She has memorized that crack. She has stared at it on the nights she could not sleep, which is most nights. And every morning, she does not think about breakfast. She does not plan her day. She makes a calculation. She wonders whether today will be the day her heart gives out. Getting out of bed requires 3 people: her mother, her older brother Marcus, and her neighbor Miss Diane, a 62-year-old retired nurse who shows up every morning before 7 a.m. without being called, without being asked, because she made a quiet promise to herself 2 years ago, and she has not broken it once. They have a system now, a count, 1, 2, 3, and they pull, and Amara grips the steel rail bolted to the wall and pushes with everything inside her. Some mornings, it takes 40 minutes just to stand. The bathroom is 7 feet from the edge of her bed. 7 feet, a distance a child crosses in half a second. For Amara, it is an expedition. Her feet have forgotten what the floor feels like without pain shooting up through her ankles. Her knees have been sending distress signals for so long, she has learned to stop hearing them. Bathing is not something she can do alone anymore. She lost the ability to reach certain parts of her own body 18 months ago. Her mother does it for her, without a word, with the same hands that once braided her hair before school, the same hands that held hers when she was sick as a child. Amara looks at the wall during these moments. She has trained herself to not feel the humiliation. Or perhaps she has felt it so constantly, for so long, that it has become background noise, like traffic, like rain, like the sound of her own breathing that makes the bed creak. The wheelchair arrived on a Thursday, special ordered, reinforced, medical grade. Her brother assembled it in the hallway. When they brought it into the room, nobody said anything. What was there to say? She remembers the last time she went outside. A family gathering, her cousin's wedding anniversary. They borrowed a van, removed the rear seats, built a makeshift ramp from plywood and determination. The venue had no accessible entrance on the ground floor. 4 men carried her wheelchair up 4 concrete steps, while other guests watched from the doorway. She smiled through the entire dinner. She cried for 5 days after she got home. Shopping malls. She sees them in commercials sometimes. The shining floors, the escalators, people walking with bags swinging from their wrists like it is nothing. She used to love malls. She used to spend entire Saturdays just existing among people, browsing, trying things on, sitting in the food court watching strangers live their ordinary lives, being nobody special, just a woman, just a person, just alive in a completely unremarkable way. Now a standard shopping cart cannot pass beside her. Airplane seats are a door that has been locked from the inside. Restaurant booths are a joke she stopped laughing at years ago. Every chair in every public space is a question. Will it hold? Will it groan? Will everyone turn to look? They always turn to look. The doctor visited last month. He sat in the plastic chair beside her bed. He spoke gently, but he did not soften the numbers. blood pressure critical, liver function deteriorating, joints breaking down faster than they can repair, heart working at a pace it cannot sustain. Amara, he said, we are talking about years, not many of them. Her mother walked out of the room. Amara stared at the ceiling, at the crack, at the water stain. She said, okay. Amara was 13 when she won the regional essay competition. She stood at the front of the school auditorium in a green dress her grandmother had sewn for her. She had written about her father's vegetable garden and what it taught her about patience. The principal shook her hand. Her whole family stood up and clapped. Her little sister Becca screamed from the back row. She was a normal girl. That sounds like nothing. It sounds like the most ordinary thing in the world. But she would give every year she has left to be ordinary again. She played basketball on Tuesday evenings. Not well. Her team lost more than they won. But she played. She walked to school every morning, 40 minutes each way. She sat in chairs without wondering if they would hold. She ran for buses. She squeezed through crowded markets, complaining about the heat like everyone else. She took up space in the world without thinking about it, without having to justify it, without apology. At 21, she was a size 14. At 24, a size 18. The weight came slowly, the way water finds its way into a house during a storm. Not all at once, quietly, through every crack, every low place. Her mother got sick when Amara was 23. Breast cancer, stage 3, the kind that takes over a household like a second resident. Everything reorganized itself around the illness. Appointments, medications, hospital stays, insurance calls that went nowhere. Amara was the oldest. She took on the most. She held things together because someone had to. And at night, when everyone was asleep and the holding together could stop for a few hours, she ate. Not because she was hungry. Hunger had nothing to do with it. She ate because it was the only thing that made her feel less. Less afraid. Less exhausted. Less like the roof of her family's world. Food didn't ask anything of her. Food didn't need anything from her. Food was just there. Warm. Reliable. A few minutes of quiet in the middle of a life that had become very, very loud. Her mother survived. 5 years of remission now. But the eating never stopped. Because by then it wasn't about the fear anymore. It had become something else. A reflex. A language her body spoke when words wouldn't come. Then came the relationship. 3 years with a man she trusted completely. A quiet man. Steady. The kind who remembered small things. She thought she had found something permanent. She started planning a future. And then one evening, he sat across from her at the kitchen table and told her he had been seeing someone else for over a year. He said it calmly, like he was reading from a list. She didn't cry until he left, and then she cried for 3 days straight. And on the 4th day, she stopped crying, and she started eating. She ate for a week without really stopping. And when the shame of eating that much arrived, she ate to make the shame go quiet. And when the shame of eating to quiet the shame arrived, she ate again. The cycle had teeth now. It fed on itself. She stopped going out. She stopped answering calls. She told herself she was just taking time, just healing, just resting. 380 pounds, 450, 520. The world got smaller. The rooms got smaller. The bed became the world, and she told herself it was fine. She told herself she had just chosen a different kind of life. She told herself this, until she almost believed it. She walked into the operating room herself, slowly, with a walker, stopping once in the hallway to catch her breath. But herself, on her own feet, under her own power, the way she had walked to school as a girl, as if her body remembered, as if it had been waiting. Zoe's school show is on a Friday evening in April. Amara wakes up at 5 in the morning. She showers alone. She has been doing that for 8 months now. She stands at her closet and chooses a green dress, the same color as the one her grandmother sewed for her, the day she won the essay competition at 13. She doesn't know if she chose it on purpose. It doesn't matter. Her brother drives her. She sits in the front passenger seat, a standard seat, seatbelt across her chest, like anyone. The school is loud and crowded and full of children running in every direction. Parents stand in clusters, phones raised. The hallway floors are a little uneven near the entrance. She walks carefully, with her cane, taking her time, not embarrassed, just careful. She finds a seat in the second row. She sits down, a regular auditorium seat, with room on either side. She breathes. She breathes again. She sees Zoe before Zoe sees her. The child is backstage, peeking through the curtain, scanning the audience with the urgent focus of someone looking for something specific. And then she finds it. Her aunt's face. The expression that crosses that 6-year-old face. The shock, the joy, the total, uncontained 6-year-old happiness. Amara will carry that expression for the rest of her life. She will take it out on the hard days. It will be enough. The curtain opens. Zoe plays a tree in the school play. She waves one arm dramatically every time she has a line. She is, without question, the best tree anyone has ever seen. Amara laughs so hard her eyes water. Afterward, in the parking lot, Zoe holds her hand and swings it. "I knew you'd come," the child says. Amara looks down at her. "How did you know?" Zoe shrugs. The way children shrug at things they consider completely obvious. "Because you're my auntie." Amara has lost 280 pounds. She has not finished. She knows she has not finished. The road ahead is still long, and some days it bends back on itself in ways that feel deeply unfair. But she goes to sleep now, without calculating whether her heart will make it to morning. She goes to Zoe's school events. She sits in the front passenger seat. She walks into rooms and she stays. She is learning, slowly, imperfectly, with great stubbornness, that she does not have to earn her place in this world. That her life was worth fighting for, not because she became something different, but because she was worth it, exactly as she was, even in the hardest, darkest, most impossible moments. She just had to believe it long enough to take one step, and then one more. She ate to survive a pain nobody could see. She learned to survive without swallowing the pain. And in that learning, in that slow, brutal, beautiful crawl from darkness into something like light, she found what she had been looking for all along. Not a different body, not a smaller life, not approval or applause or anyone's permission. Freedom. The freedom to feel everything and still choose to be here. The freedom to be unfinished and still be enough. The freedom to finally, truly come home. To herself. Her niece Zoe is 6 years old. She is afraid of nothing. She arrived one Sunday afternoon with a box of crayons and the absolute certainty that her Aunt Amara was going to draw with her. Not asking, certain. The way 6-year-olds are certain about things that matter to them. Amara drew. Badly. Her hands cramped within minutes. But Zoe didn't notice or didn't care. She was deeply focused on explaining why the elephant in her picture was wearing a hat. "Because it's his birthday," Zoe said, completely seriously. "And you wear a hat on your birthday." Then she looked up, and with the kind of honesty that only children have access to, she said, "Auntie, how come you never come to my school?" "My friend Lily's aunt came to our show." Amara opened her mouth. She closed it. "I want you to come to my show," Zoe said. Just that. No accusation, no anger, just the plain, simple truth of what she wanted. Then she went back to drawing the elephant's birthday hat. Amara looked at this child, this small, fearless, utterly serious child, coloring an elephant in a birthday hat on a Sunday afternoon, and something cracked open in her chest. Not the breaking kind of crack, the opening kind, like a door that has been stuck for years and someone finally found the right way to push. She thought, she is going to grow up. She is going to have school shows and birthday parties and graduations and first heartbreaks and first jobs and all of it. And I am going to be here in this bed, missing every single moment of it. I am going to die in this room, and Zoe is going to grow up remembering that her aunt never came. That night, after her mother and brother had gone to sleep, Amara lay in the dark for a long time, and she made a decision. Not dramatic, not triumphant, quiet, terrified, completely serious. She was going to try not to become thin, not to be impressive, not to prove anything to anyone who had ever looked at her with pity or cruelty. Just to try to get her life back, to be at Zoe's school show. The first goal was not walking. The first goal was sitting up in bed without help. That took 9 days, 9 mornings of trying, 9 mornings of failing, resting, and trying again. Arms shaking, core muscles firing signals they had almost forgotten how to send. Her mother sat nearby, not helping unless asked, which is its own kind of love. On the 10th morning, Amara sat up on her own. She stayed like that for a moment, just sitting, under her own power, and then she cried for 20 minutes. Not from pain, not from shame, from something she had almost forgotten the name of: hope. The bariatric specialist was honest with her from the start. Surgery was possible, but it was risky at her current weight. She would need to reduce significantly before the procedure could safely happen. The cruelty of this logic almost broke her. Lose weight so you can have the surgery that will help you lose weight. But she nodded. She said, "Tell me exactly what to do." They began with almost nothing, movements while lying down, small, slow. Her body found these movements enormous. 10 minutes of gentle effort would send her into a 2-hour sleep, but she came back the next day, and the next, and the one after that. The physical therapist was a young woman named Dana. Dana never once looked at Amara's body the way strangers looked at it in public. She looked at what it could do, what it was beginning to learn again. The day Amara walked from her bed to the bedroom door without assistance, Dana wrote it in her notes like it was a record. 24 feet, she said. 24 feet. A number that should be nothing. That was the greatest physical achievement of Amara's adult life. There were terrible days. Days she ordered food late at night and ate until she was sick with it. Days she told everyone she was fine and then lay in the dark afterward, hating herself. Days the old voice came back, the one that whispered, "You have gone too far. You are too broken to fix. No road leads back from where you are." On those days she called her support group. Other women, other stories, the same desperate weight. They understood in a way that thin friends could not. This was not about willpower. This was not about discipline or weakness or lack of character. This was about learning to feel feelings instead of swallowing them. Months passed. Slow. Grinding. Some weeks she moved forward. Some weeks she slid back. But she did not stop. The surgery happened 14 months after that Sunday with the crayons.